it's been a while since we've seen each other, so I want to go over the informed consent again. I'll just do a brief version, but everything you say in here is confidential, minus if you, obviously you're recording, so thank you for that. And then my professor and I will be watching that and evaluating my skills, but then also if you let me know that you're going to harm yourself, others, or elder or child abuse, things of that nature. There are risks and benefits of counseling. Now, oftentimes people feel better after a few sessions, sometimes because we're working through difficult emotions, thoughts, memories, feelings, and things like that. We sometimes feel worse before we feel better. And I would hope instead of terminating that we could work through that together. But it's completely up to you how you want to do that if that does happen. But I would like to work through that with you, and that is very normal. Sometimes that does happen. Is there any questions about that?
No.
Okay. So today we're going to do reality therapy, and it is very goal driven. So we're not going to talk a lot about our emotions, just what we're doing and how we're what we want, what we're doing, how's that working, and then how we're going to get there, to where we want to go. So the last time we spoke, you were talking about needing a job for the summer, and you were really concerned about that. You were kind of weighing your different options, so I'm wondering if you want to talk about that or something else.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that.
Okay, so what is your want?
Well, let's see. I'm going to be finishing up my job at Winona State mid-May. So I'm just in the process now of thinking, okay, I really need to start looking. And yeah, I think I'm a little reluctant to try because I feel like it's going to be really challenging. It's going to be hard to find a job that will work, that I can keep even through the school year while I'm while I start practicum and then internship.
So you're reluctant because it's a difficult challenge.
Yeah.
So
I'm really particular too.
Tell me more about where you're at. Are you just in the process where you're thinking about it, or are there any steps that you've taken?
I'm just thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been kind of consumed with stuff that's going on in my life and school and my current job.
So we have been talking about this job or looking for a job for a while. Is it something that needs to happen soon now, or do we have some time?
I think the sooner the better I start. I should probably start looking maybe this coming week.
Okay. Okay, so we want to find a job that's going to work, but we're reluctant because it's going to be a challenge. You have a lot going on right now. You're reluctant because it's going to be a challenge to find something that works with your schedule, and your daughter, and internship, and practicum, and classes, right? And so far in the process, we are just kind of thinking about it. I sense a bit of anxiety with everything going on and the challenges of scheduling and whatnot. I'm wondering if you have any plans on how we can approach this, because you said you're going to start looking next week. And
yeah, I'm thinking now that I'll probably start when I come back from my brother's memorial, which I'll be back. It'll be May 1st. And I think I just have to be okay with not having something lined up like immediately following the end of my current job, which is May 17th. So
okay,
I think even June, even mid-June, I think it helps to give myself a little room,
sure,
to not feel like I'm so under the gun, I guess.
So instead of feeling as if right when your job starts, you need to start another job. Maybe part of the process would be to just kind of give yourself some time and relieve some of that anxiety.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way, but that's a good point. They probably would, yeah.
Okay, so as far as the goal of the session, we want to find a job. How, or tell me how we can work towards that goal.
Um, let's see. I'm wondering. I suppose I could. I was thinking I could just spend time, a certain amount of time. Maybe every week or set certain days that I'm going to look just online for jobs. Um, I think also I could start brainstorming for jobs that aren't online. I know I could work probably with the summer school program. I'm actually teaching a class at Winona College for kids. So, yeah. I kind of like to think a little bit out of the box because I don't know, I could probably teach in different, programs and maybe work something out, do freelance work, yeah, graphic design. So, yeah, maybe just generate, some other alternatives that I wouldn't necessarily find on the internet that I would just kind of piece together myself.
Sure. So brainstorms. So part of the plan to find a job is to first we're going to kind of give ourselves some room, and it's okay if you don't have a job lined up on the 17th. And another step we're going to take is starting to brainstorm and think outside the box of using your skill that you already have and the experience you already have as a teacher to kind of, I'm assuming, maybe contact some people and to get sort of line something up.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as doing that, what would be the next step?
Let's see. I think following through and applying for some of the positions be part of that. Let's see. I think if I brainstorm and come up with some ideas for alternative type work I could do, I could maybe write out steps, creating teaching proposals for different programs. Yeah. So that would be helpful.
You mentioned like putting aside certain day and time, and then now writing steps. So do you want to go into those a little bit more, or would you go into those a little bit more?
Sure. Let's see. So I'm coming back from California on the 1st. I think that's Sunday. So maybe Monday I'll look. Let's see. Maybe I'll work on it. Work on it Monday through Friday, and then give myself Saturday and Sunday off.
Okay.
And then maybe I'll take 2 hours every day of that first week, Monday through Friday, and I'll look online and apply for jobs on Monday, and then Tuesday I'll work on generating other alternative ideas. And for the steps, I think I guess depending on what ideas I generate, the steps will be different. Because I'm thinking even like with my art, I do graphic design, and that's, I don't know. I think figuring out who to contact and who to submit proposals or letters to, or yeah. And then making contact, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a really well thought out plan, very specific.
Mm-hmm.
How likely are you to follow through? 1 to 10, 1 being probably not, 10 being definitely.
I think an 8.
Okay, and what does an 8 look like?
I think an 8, I think I'm very likely to do it if I also write it down ahead of time.
Okay.
Like, I have a calendar, red calendar, and if I put things, I'm really visual, and so to have it written down and the time already designated, if I were to do it now, I'm very likely to do it because I'll plan ahead into those weeks, and those time frames will be set, and I can work around them.
Okay.
And otherwise, I don't know. I can be really unstructured and, adaptable to whatever's happening in the moment. So
sure.
I won't, plan for that, or I'll be so flexible, like, oh, I can fit this other thing in too. But if I put it on my calendar as a priority,
okay, so putting
likely.
Putting it on the calendar makes it probably, keeps it at an 8 in the structure and the time, actually designating the time. Okay. Okay, so we talked about you wanting to get a job and the challenges related to that, the anxiety, what you're doing, which it sounds like you actually have done quite a bit of brainstorming and you've been thinking about it. No steps yet. And so we evaluated that, and then we planned for homework, and we think it's about an 8. Did I miss anything?
No, but I guess in my steps, I was thinking that during that 2-hour time frame, I could also use some of that time to address my thoughts, like my negative thinking about it, and this kind of almost a dread. Like, here I am again looking for, part-time work is hard to find, and now my hours are going to be, I have to be upfront and say, come fall, I don't know what my schedule will be, so I'll need to be, work that's flexible or flexible hours. So I think though, just being positive, that would be really helpful for me. 'Cause my thoughts kind of become like runaway trains.
Sure. So tell me more about that. Tell me more about your negative thoughts.
Well, often I stop myself from moving forward if I get on a negative thought cycle, because I just get overwhelmed, and then my pattern is I disengage. So I have to be really aware of them and just sometimes just act despite how I'm feeling and just take an action, even though in my tendency or my natural inclination is to kind of wait till I feel a certain way, like feel like I want to do this or feel hopeful about it or feel something instead of acting first. So, but that, and I think just changing my thoughts and being positive also helps my feelings.
Sounds really CBT. No.
Yeah, it is. I get a lot out of CBT. That's why I try to counsel that way, but I'm still, it's not, it doesn't feel natural to me, but yeah.
So what we want is to control those negative thoughts, because you said in a lot of times, in many ways, the negative thoughts almost get the better of you and you become disengaged. So I'm assuming that if we can fight those negative thoughts, or as you said, become aware of them in some way, that you can become more engaged. I'm assuming that the anxiety, the negative thoughts are a bit heavy, anxiety provoking. Okay, so, and you mentioned you wanted to write down your negative thoughts.
I didn't think I would, but
You did. Oh, I'm sorry.
I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or how did you?
I thought I would spend part of that time, the 2 hours
I
every
see.
day, just being aware of them, but writing them down. Yeah. Or maybe even just writing positive statements would probably be really helpful.
Okay. So, so you want to help fight those negative thoughts, and you're not really doing anything at this time,
No.
right? So,
Yeah.
part of your homework is going to be to now write down or just think or become aware in some way of that negative thinking. And we obviously know that what you're doing now isn't really working for you if you want to fight the negative thoughts, so it would help you. And then we do have a plan to fight those negative thoughts. So, you want to tell me a little bit more about the homework? Specifics, because you said part of it 2 hours every day.
Oh, okay. So, I'll say the first 15 minutes of my 2 hour increments will be spent writing out positive thoughts and maybe just journaling in a positive way.
Okay. Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to do this?
I think I'd say an 8. Yeah.
And not to be redundant, but what does an 8 look like?
Well, I'm thinking if I'm engaging in the process, especially if I have it in my calendar, I'm visual and I love crossing things off my calendar and yeah, I think it would be really helpful to me to do that. So yeah, I think it's unlikely to do it if I doing the whole plan.
Sure.
Even the first part of the plan that I mentioned. Yeah.
Okay, so we want to fight those negative thoughts because you feel like you become disengaged from whatever it is you need to do or whatever you're having negative thoughts about. In this case, it's the job and just the difficulties in finding one, and then the challenges of scheduling and the flexibility. You need flexibility.
I think just the energy it takes to start a new job.
Yeah.
You're just saying that, like, oh my gosh, I think I just feel worn out.
The dread of putting more on your plate right now, maybe. And you have so much going on.
Yeah, and just presenting with energy, like to go into a new place and feel like, presenting well. Yeah.
So as far as planning, we're going to do 2 hours every day, and then 15 minutes before we're going to...
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, yep. And we said it was an 8. Now, we haven't been here that long, so we have more time. I'm wondering if I could invite you to bring up something else. We don't have a ton of time, but we have a little bit more time. So I don't know if there's another aspect of the job search that you'd like to talk about. Maybe a smaller detail that we can fit in there. It's your time. I mean,
Sure. Yeah.
I want to give you...
I think another idea I have for the job search is just talking to people I know and telling them I'm looking for something. Friends of mine, I think they may have ideas for me. They may, know of someone that's hiring. Some have their own businesses. They may need help. So networking would be a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is network.
How much time do you have left in our session?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Is it 20 to 20 or 25?
20.
Okay. Well, it's 20 an hour right So what you... So what you want to do...
I have a quick idea of what we could talk about.
Okay.
No, that's a longer. Never mind. That will be too long. Sorry.
It's okay. So what we want to talk about is your want to network, because that's a good way. It's a good way for you to find a job, because like you said, you're kind of thinking out of the box because you need that flexibility, and you're just kind of an out of the box person from what I know of you. So at this time, you're not really doing anything. You haven't networked yet, right?
No.
But you've just thought about it, and I mean, you are putting some thought into this, so that's great. We can't really evaluate what you've done because we haven't done it yet. And as far as your plan, what exactly was that?
Mondays, May 2nd, I will spend, starting Monday, I'll spend 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, working on getting a new job that I hope to start no later than June 15th. And then with the first 15 minutes of the 2 hours, I will journal or just write positive affirmations and thoughts about getting a part-time job that I enjoy. And I will I'll network with people I know, and I think that should be something separate.
Okay, that was actually the question I meant to ask you. Is as far as networking, is that something that you need to do on the fly, or is there something we can plan?
I was thinking I'd set up times to meet with people. I mean, I just meet a lot for coffee anyway, but I think it would be better for me to write an email, like a group email.
Okay.
And send it out. Yeah.
Tell me about when you were thinking about doing that. You have these. You're very ambitious. 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. So that's pretty ambitious.
I think I will. I'll do that on Monday.
Okay.
Because it may take a while for people to get back to me or for things to come up. I think, I'll do that right away.
Okay. Sounds good. And how likely are you to do that?
I would say 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does an 8 look like?
Well, I just think I'm getting more motivated to do this the more I talk about it.
Okay.
Because I realize, I actually have probably a lot more ideas than this even. So it feels a little more doable and a little more promising, I guess. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope this was helpful.
Yeah.
I did have a quick question for you. How did it feel I actually meant to just ask you about what you were going to do for homework for the networking. But then as you were going through the homework in its entirety, was that motivating at all? Because it seemed as if it might be, or how did that feel for you?
Yeah, it was really motivating. It felt even most motivating when I thought of designating a pretty significant piece of time, 5 days in a row, and filling it with different types of, being really specific about which different types of work I could do towards that, and also just imagining it on my calendar is really helpful to me. I'm very random and abstract, and when things are on my calendar, it organizes my thoughts, and I feel like I become much more sequential and concrete.
Sure.
So things
Organized.
tend to happen when on my calendar as well. So yeah.
That's good to hear. So we'll probably get where we want to go. We're going. Okay, so today we talked about getting a new job and how we're going to do that. And again, some of the anxiety and the homework for 5 days a week, 2 hours, 15 minutes in the email. And we think we're about an 8 for that. And I think that from what I'm hearing from you, the biggest barrier in many ways is the challenges of the scheduling and also just anxiety. It's just anxiety provoking. And then you also said that you are going to give yourself kind of a break, and it's okay if you don't have a job right when your other job ends.
Yeah, and that just helps my anxiety about it.
Sure. So I think we have a really good plan about how we're going to approach this, and approaching the actual need to find the job, but also the barriers, or some of the barriers of finding the job, which is the anxiety or the building of anxiety about that, or or the anxiety about having the job right away. So okay, and how do you feel about this?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, well, meet in a week.
Yep.
Okay,
Great.
Okay, sounds good. I'll see you then.
All right.
Thank you.